This is our final match of the night. It is prime time, folks. Envy, Mindfreak in a best-of-5 series.
Let's kick things off with Cap. You know, he was very efficient in the series versus Mindfreak just yesterday. I mean, not necessarily anything insane from a KD standpoint, because that's not usually going to be Cap. Here and there, we'll see that, but just, you know, finding kills in the hard point, finding the time in the hard point, putting up, you know, those 2-minute type games. He's been getting it done from all over the place, but it's actually Excite opening things up with a 3-piece.
Yeah, wipes out 3/4 of Envy there, gets the help from Shocks, and Excite is a player that I've really grown to know a lot more about, not just because we look similar, but he's been the new fourth on this Mindfreak team. Is that the dream of ANZ COD to play and represent Mindfreak? I think for a lot of people it is, and absolutely. Excite made that happen. He talked about how he pushed for that moment in his career. He built himself as a player, and now he lands on APAC's best team here in the Global Pro League, curling the score 8-8. As things begin to slow down as we move towards the rotation in the cell block hardpoint.
Oh, John has definitely rebounded today. You know, some play he wanted to forget from yesterday. He's done a good job brushing that off, and he's been back on form. It's John trying to pinch forward, being tagged up from the back. You see on X-Ray, multiple players trying to hold the back hanger for spawns here at cell block. As 3 players drop, it's just apathy up. It's all you got to do. You got to lay down and be patient. You can't push there, give up a life, and have to reset again. He waits for his 3 teammates, and now you make another collapse. You still have 45 seconds to go here.
Absolutely, and they know how important the cell block kill can be. We've seen sometimes where the squad that's better at locking down these spawns, Maven, can get 5-6 times the score of their opposing team on this exact hill. Right now, it is Apathy trying to push through this side door. He's got the help of JCap as well, and I do believe Envy should be able to overtake this hard point if they can finally kill off Fighter. There it is. Apathy cuts him down.
And credit to our observer here. You know, a lot of times we see the action kind of fast and frantic inside the hard point. There you got to see it from John and Apathy, how hard it is to actually break there. It's difficult. You saw on X-Ray, you see gunfire coming from multiple angles, how tough it can actually be to bust through. But Envy, they time it right, they get the 4-man push, and they get the break, but now it's time to rotate out.
Wow, this is actually an interesting setup for Mindfreak. They stack all 4 players within that cave and hardpoint area. No one here to watch out for this pinch from middle map, and look, because they're so far pushed in, that's what I was worried about. Envy actually get a spawn here in this back helipad area. This could spell disaster for Mindfreak. Thankfully, they are trading these kills quite efficiently with the help of Fida. But I wonder if that's almost a little bit of a blunder for a moment there for Mindfreak, but the kills do go in their favor.
Yeah, thankfully, because the spawn's got a little bit wild for a moment there. Buzzo, I think, spawned all the way down at Commissary, but now they're back in control. They're spawning here at the backside of Cave, and they're doing a good job. Buzzo, Fida, finding a couple of kills. Can Envy get the break? That Slasher finding 2 big ones as he breaks through. Shocks, last line of defense, but it's Slasher 3 of those 4 kills to get the break. But you only have, what, 15 seconds or so you're going to get for Envy.
Big thing, though, Slasher on a 5 streak, double positive, the first player to breach that 10-kill mark, and he's going to look for more now as he begins to surge right up towards this back helipad area. Nothing as of yet, though, for Envy. Mindfreak in early control of Commissary.
They've got it set up. Holding strong for now. We'll take a look at the mini-map. You see where Slasher going to be pushing from, trying to line up at mid-map. You'll see how the retake looks now from their POV. You saw it in cell block, you're gonna see it again. Hit with the jammer immediately, nade out, Cap finds a kill. 2 though, coming through for Mindfreak, and now they're trying to push out the rack. They know there's one at helipad. His teammate rips off his head, that was John, but it's Fina getting the final laugh.
Nice job by Fida to recognize that situation, gets the call out that 2 players from Envy were pushing towards that back helipad area. What does he do? He pushes through catwalk, gets the pinch there, and relieves that pressure, and now all they have to worry about is that front wall run. This should give Mindfreak 50+ seconds on this hard point. And now look at the lead they've earned because of it, Maven.
Yeah.
The APAC team showing up here in game 1.
But we've seen this before, right? You know, we've seen Mindfreak look very good in hard points. TP Merc, they were talking about the fact that they played teams tough. They just don't close out the games. You got to keep building on this lead, building on this lead. In the last series we casted, we talked about Breakout.
That's what I wanted to bring up. Breakout, not only a map where we've seen leads get completely destroyed there on a moment's notice. 112-68 the score at the end of the first rotation. We're watching Buzzo, who does get cut down inside Shower. Slasher in the spawns for these new hill, but with 40 seconds left, they've got to get more pressure towards middle man.
Well, the pressure's starting to come in as Slasher able to find the first pick. Now looking over his teammate at top hut here with the NV4, trying to lock down loading. Split spawn comes in. That's going to be number 6 on the minimap. Excite, that's going to be able to help his team pinch here and also have the spawns for the next hard point. I know there's 20 or so seconds left. Apathy was ready for it. The call out comes in and he's able to pick up the 1 kill. They still get the spawn. You see where Slasher ends up popping. They're still holding for Cell.
Yeah, and now you should see Slasher and Apathy move right towards this new hard point. Yeah, Slasher's going to wait, watch that wall run. As long as his teammates pick up this dirt street in middle, he will have full peace of mind that that is all he has to watch. This is a great setup from Envy. The callouts have to come in, though. They know the final 3 players are middle map. Slasher more than fine to just hang out in the hard point. It's going to be up to Apathy and JCap now off the spawn to get these kills to stop the push.
Well, the first time through, we got to see EnVyUs' attempted break, right? They got through about halfway into it. Now let's see what Mindfreak's able to do. They find a few entry kills, both coming on the back of Excite. He's got a pair. Can he keep it going? 2 more in the back. Finds the 3rd. Looking for more at Slasher, finally cutting him down. Envy still holding strong. You got 1 more crack at this if you're Mindfreak.
Hey, remember when we were talking about that lead Mindfreak had about a hill and a half ago, and how we said we've seen this many times this weekend. Team gets a lead or on breakout in general, and then it just goes away in 2 hills. Envy are now up by 16 seconds. One thing I do want to point out, though, and something that makes Mindfreak such a solid team is even with Shox, who's been just ridiculous this weekend, having a quieter game, who's there to step up and pull that weight, fight it, and excite? The reason why these 2 teams are really close in this game.
Yeah, I mean, Shox has been, inhuman basically this weekend. You've seen the KD that he had in hardpoint specifically, just blowing everybody out of the water. He's been insane, but there's Slasher on Envy finding 2, not able to close it out with a 3-piece, and that's going to be another nice setup here. Remember, it was early rotation, early setup in Grave. Last time for Mindfreak, they were able to get a lot of time. I don't think Envy broke till 15 or so seconds left.
And you notice a little bit something different about their setup this time? Look at where Excite is. Instead of 4 stacking the cave, now they're like, guys, let's not let them get this spawn. Unfortunately, he loses that gunfight.
As you say it, he dies.
So it was a smart play. He just got overwhelmed by 2 players getting through middle map. And just like that, Envy have gotten the break. But now Mindfreak still have this back helipad spawn. It all comes down to these first couple kills. Do they go in their favor? It doesn't appear so.
You can't throw away too many players here and allow maybe 1 Envy player to push forward and flip the spawns, which actually ends up happening with Excite spawning all the way out, backside cell block. I don't think it's going to punish him because there's so much time left in the hard point. He's actually going to have an opportunity to pinch from behind. They're not going to be ready for this at all. And then look where Apathy spawns on the map. The number 4, everyone kind of spawning back cell block. They have a long hike to commissary.
Well, that was a great play by Excite because he knows not only there does he force Envy players to spawn all the way in the back of the map, but if he dies, he just spawned at helipad. So he's ready for this new rotation.
Honestly, he could have ran off the map at that point when he spawned there.
Exactly. It's a perfect example of a smart play by a Call of Duty player. It's why Excite got a spot on this Mindfreak team. 167 to 151 the score currently. Envy and crew doing what they did last time on commissary, focusing towards helipad and then pushing towards the hill. Look at your mini-map. Blue arrows, though, pushing in from all different angles.
They're starting to collapse now, and everybody drops. Yeah. Apathy just gets a free tour into the hard point as his teammate gets it all done. You can see how far they're able to push out now. Slasher pushed out. John racking up time in the hard point. Slasher does get cut down. That's 2 opening picks, but with 15 seconds left, even if you get the break, you're not going to get much time here.
Apathy actually getting that first kill did buy enough time for Slasher to spawn up near the hard point, but with so little time left, that should be it. The second rotation does go in favor of Envy. 185 to 166 a score.
I feel like Mindfreak been in a pattern these past couple hard points where they're just basically just getting the scrap time, right? I mean, they're doing enough to get close. They're getting 15 to 20 seconds, but they haven't been able to get back in control of this game.
What we've always seen from Mindfreak at times, they drop these hard points. It's like, yes, they had that great start, and they just can't seem to find that chain of kills, that time that just goes in their favor, that 40-second chunk. Instead, they've just kind of been scrappy, doing what they can to keep this game close. Well, I feel like at some point, EnVyUs is going to take over.
This is a hard point where maybe they can surprise them. You know, not usually a hard point where you're going to get a lot of time, but so far, so good. Mindfreak coming back in this one, trailing by 15 points. Envy just making sure they hold the side for cell block. They did a really good job in the last rotation. They're giving up most of this time. Buzzo actually has to hop out here. Nobody currently in the hard point to pick up time as he's getting surrounded, but smart play is he's able to pick up 1, but the scrap time should be going the way of Envy.
Yeah, and here's a great look at your mini-map. Shox going all the way to this backside. He's got to wait for his teammates to come help, and he knows his life is so important right now. But for as long as he's back here, Envy should know, guys, there's someone holding this garage. Why are we spawning near middle map? If anything, we should be towards that backside. Watch out for Envy to try to 3-man hit this at some point. For now, though, they are content with just keeping control of this hard point.
And a big difference, too. You know, you look at Slasher, 26 and 18, already has his camo. The slow start from Shox and really slow game overall. He hasn't been able to build towards that as John finds 2 inside, but there's still more players from Mindfreak.
Here's where that camo can come into play. Does Slasher use it to push this outer wall run? They want to try to win off this hard point. The bombardment comes in. EnVy beginning to surge right on up. There is that camo from Slasher. Hello, Mindfreak. He's right in front of your face. Gets the kill on the Shox. A potential second here. Does get it, but guess what? Fida is there. The scrap time will go in favor of Mindfreak.
And I think Fida ends up popping his reactive armor to shoot Slasher in the back. There's a big gunfight that just went down the top of the minimap. Shox wins a one-on-one with JCap to get set up for the next spawn at Graveyard. This one's coming down to the wire, buddy.
Look at the shot call from EnVy. They're sending 2 players through middle map to try to get a pinch. They want to kill off Mindfreak while the opportunity is there. They have a number advantage. Apathy with 3. The final kill comes in. It's all 4 for Apathy, nearly with the 5th, but EnVy do get the job done. The middle map push pays off.
This looks real familiar to last game we casted for EnVy on Breakout when they were able to hold on versus Cloud9. Can they do it again? It's John trying to tag one in window, not able to do it. Excite gets in, looking for more kills. The smoke in the way. It's
Shox
actually
kills him.
Going back and forth, and that's a team kill from Shox, yes. They are not going to get back in time, and that is another close hardpoint loss for Mindfreak.
From near a 1-minute lead to a 30-second deficit in the end, EnVy strike first in our best of 5 against Apex Best.
I mean, if you were going to guess the score, 250 to 220 would have been a pretty good guess, considering they've done that twice now. They've lost, I think, 250 to 220, 250 to 219. They've had such close games. They've played EnVy tough in all 3. I think the worst loss they had was 250 to 190. They're playing them tough, man.
It is incredible how much better Splice look than both, obviously, Mindfreak and EnVy. How even Mindfreak and EnVy look, and then how much better everyone looks than Cloud9 in this group.
Yeah, I mean, Splice way up here. Cloud9, unfortunately, way down right now. Yeah, sorry, I can't.
I
hurt my back. Yeah. But Splice has been incredible. But this series, you have to bounce back and obviously win the S&D like Mindfreak was able to do the first time they played. I think they took that 6-4, and if I remember correctly, that was the one in which Fida and Shox combined for like 19 or 20 kills. They destroyed and carried the load. If they don't do that, it's going to be tough. But let's actually take a look at the S&D leaderboard throughout this weekend. We showed you hardpoint over the last series. What do you like, Jack?
Well, we saw Shox was ahead of the not the Mindfreak leaderboard, the hardpoint leaderboard here. He's 3rd. All 4 players of Mindfreak in your top 8. Shox with a 1.31 leading the team, but ahead of him is Slasher from EnVy, that NV4 player at 1.5.
And I mean, that just shows the Cloud9 struggles as well. Not a single Cloud9 player on the top 10. And would that be a big deal if this were an open tournament with, 800 players? Maybe not. But when you take a look here with 4 teams and none of your players cracking the top 10, it's brutal. Absolutely brutal.
Most certainly is. There's a look at the beautiful MLG Arena here in sunny Columbus, Ohio. I just said that it's sunny out. I think it's been cloudy all day long, but you know what? No one knows because they're watching on the internet.
Hey, and if you're watching on the internet, maybe you're new to competitive Call of Duty, welcome. Thank you for joining us. And, we've touched on it a couple times through the broadcast, but just give you an idea of kind of what's on the line. This is week 1. We have 4 weekends where 4 teams will be competing over each of these weekends. Top 2 will be battling out in the playoffs for $500,000. But looking back at that breakout hardpoint, Jack, Slasher, he was a beast.
He most certainly was. Slasher putting up big numbers in not only S&D as we saw there in the leaderboards, but that hardpoint right there. Big thing to note. Mindfreak dominate the commissary hardpoint, and every time he went there, it was because they had those spawns prior to EnVy getting control of them. Another thing we want to take note of, rooftop into cell block, that rotation won most times by EnVy, but more importantly, the control of the hill, the focus on that objective, they just did a better job.
Well, really, the difference could be EnVy's maybe adjustments on cell block, because the first one, if I remember correctly, that's where Mindfreak got all their time, right? Yep. They dominated there. The next 2, it's all EnVy. They fix their mistakes. They make sure they control those spawns and rotating from mid-map. They do a stellar job of shutting down Mindfreak, but it's got to be frustrating. I mean, I would love to know, after this match is over, I just want to tally up like the average difference for Mindfreak here in these hardpoint games. I feel that they've had just so many close games.
Yeah, you could definitely see the tightest margin of score between those maps, I would say, for the most part. They've also had some close S&Ds.
Yeah,
some round 11s coming into there. That was also the case back at the previous LAN event where we saw them go to best of 5, game 5 a couple times against some European squads. I will say this, Throwback Search and Destroy coming up. to Brian Sain, who's observing. I want to see if I'm correct. I think John is going to thermal snipe over the top of the middle map wall run, right over underpass, and try to hit the first blood on the player that's charging through middle. All right, watch. Let's see if it happens. Throwback S&D will be map 2.
Yeah, that shot, you know, we've seen some sick ones hit. You know, you think about that shot, what is it, grand final at Atlanta, Arcides, I think hit Scump on that one. It's not the easiest shot to snap on them pushing out, but the talented ones can do it. And you've got two great snipers here in Excite and John. And I just want to quickly make sure people at home know. Guys, we have so much more Call of Duty action, not only this weekend, but every weekend to come. Go to mlg.tv/Pro League. Tickets are still available for all the different color groups. Get involved, get here in the venue, meet your favorite players, talk to your favorite casters. Well, that's a good point.
See people.
See, players don't understand, or sorry, maybe fans don't understand how it's a much more intimate setting. You know,
yes.
If you want to meet a player, speak with some of the casters, hang out, have fun, a more relaxing environment. You know, it gets hyped, it gets crazy here, but it's a lot more intimate. You can see and spend a little bit of time with people. It's great.
Saint, if you can hear me, switch off John right now. Just switch off him. He's not sniping. Oh God. Now I look stupid.
Well, I mean, that's pretty common each day of the week, Jack.
Okay, Clint, you know what? We're roomies. We're supposed to have each other's back, but right now that one hurt. We'll talk about that after the stream. For now, though, John not sniping, and I look stupid.
It's all right, man. I got you here. John, with sniper in hand, pushing across mid-map, looking for kills. You see 3 in the back on X-Ray, trying to push towards limit. First kill comes in. So, hey, he did get first kill. He got the first blood. There you go. There.
He did get first blood.
Redeemed.
You know
and
what,
he gets the second one.
No plant for you, Fighter. How about the third? Shock says not today. Apathy, though, will still look for some retreating players in middle map. No luck as of yet as Envy do have the number advantage, and there's the bomb plant.
You see Apathy with the movement over the top, just trying to get eyes on. Timing works out beautifully. Erad up close and personal, peeling off the head of Shocks. It's now Excite in a 1 versus 3. He's got the NV4 to work with, but only 30 seconds to work this defuse. Not enough time, not enough life. He's going to drop.
So Mindfreak were quite confident in their search or destroy going into this weekend. Their main vision for their boot camp was trying to learn from the top North American teams in hardpoint. I think it's more than safe to say they have definitely improved in the game mode. What I'm wondering moving forward right now, if these guys do qualify, which they're well on their way to at least qualify for
stage
Anaheim, Stage 2, and Champs, is it time for them to make a major sacrifice as a team and spend more time in the States? Obviously, there's more to it than just that, but I think these guys have absolutely shown that they can hang with the best in North America this weekend.
I mean, you're only as good as your competition, like who you practice against, right? I feel like they need to. I mean, you've definitely seen improvements. Like, granted, have they gone on some open bracket runs at a few of the international tournaments, and have they showed in pool play when they're there that they can hang with the top teams? Yes, but they need just that extra edge to get it going. Another opportunity for a tough clutch on the side of Mindfreak, not able to pull it out, and that's going to be an early 2-0 edge for the boys in blue.
What I love about Envy is that when they want to play around at a certain pace, they are on the same page. And whether that's John going for first blood with a snipe, they won't really fly people out in the middle. They'll let John go for it. The rest of them will set up, play more passively, let John make the go for the crazy shots he likes to hit. And then on rounds where they decide, you know what, let's take control of middle, you'll see them swap over to a 3-4 K-bar setup, take control of it, and then go for the plant right after. Here again, they get vision of 3 Mindfreak players near this B side, and look at how MFF respond. They immediately drop right back.
Yeah, they're going to drop back, play it slow. They have to rethink this as the defense stacked towards the B side of the map. And here's the thermal sniper you wanted from John. He just got eyes on one. See if he opts to re-peek this over top mid-map. Checking the opposite window. Bomb has been planted now for Envy. You can see on X-Ray, they're bunched up mid right now. There should be a flank coming through. Excite was actually prepared for it. He's able to pick up Slasher. And now you're in a 3 versus 3 situation with 30 seconds left here, Jack.
3v2 now. Apathy does strike down Buzzo. Eyes on another. A little bit of an awkward timing there. They know he's got to be back bus, and yeah, that's Excite that goes ahead and cleans him on up, and they have vision of where JCap is. We know JCap for many of the great clutches he's had in recent years. What can he do in this scenario? Don't think it's going to happen. There's the cleanup. Now the defuse. Mindfreak finally on the board.
They get the round they need. You saw the salute coming out, and it's 3 big ones from Excite. He's got 3 in a row. We'll see if maybe he can keep that going. Work towards some streaks. Work towards his ability as well. But you see JCap there looking at the troops as they're preparing for the next round. Just giving a little bit of a team chat before we keep it going. There's the final kill. That's Excite, taking down the 2-time champ.
God, Excite is so handsome.
He does look like your older brother.
Dude, when he put the jacket, and we did that hot mic, by the way. If you guys don't know, tune into hot mic every week prior to the Pro League.
Thursday, 4 o'clock.
Sit down with the players. It's Thursdays at 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock was it? Thursdays.
You actually were the host of the show, and we're heavily involved in the creation of the time deciding of when we do it. It's 6 o'clock.
All right, thanks, buddy.
Now that we've got that locked down.
So, hey, I would have showed up early. I would have had more time to prep.
And so would everybody else.
All right, well, now into round 4. First blood coming in for Shocks as he's able to win the one-on-one there with Apathy. Slasher getting pushed from multiple players. Goes vertically over the top, trying to catch the bomb planter here if he can get the angle. He knows he has somebody looking over with an MV4.
Wow.
Finds the first. The second ends up answering back, and now it's a 2 versus 2, and John's got a snipe in hand.
And he knows he needs to grab a weapon as soon as possible. Beautiful timing for him as he's getting some shots out on sight. Both players are weak. Is JCap there for the trade? Doesn't appear so. Mindfreak, nice job as they're barely hang on.
John's got to be like, where are you?
Yeah.
Where are you?
JCap was just a little bit behind him there, and with the NV4 in that scenario, not ideal.
Nice shots, though.
You see how John got him so weak on the bomb as well. I believe that was Fighter that not only stayed alive, but got out with his life. Great distracting by him. Some signs of life for Mindfreak in game 2.
Well, let's see if they can keep it rolling here. This is similar to what we saw on the first time these guys played, a close hard point. Mindfreak answers back in the search. Are they able to steal the game again? It's going to be an aggressive defense coming through for the boys on Mindfreak, but it's Apathy shutting down both. Finally traded out, can find an answer with 2. He can't do it. Now Buzzo looking against 3 of Indy.
Yeah, Buzzo just going to try to reset the map for the moment. He's got a ton of time in this round. EnVy should get to the objective planet, and actually, no, he's going to go ahead and... Did you hear the scream?
Maybe he was trying to, maybe he was trying to get off before they even got the bomb planted.
No, yeah, it was smart play. Unfortunately, there is that grace period of about 2.5 seconds where even if you are off the map, you can still survive. Trust me, I would know a lot about that.
Your movement is
great.
Awful. Oh, yes, Jack.
I couldn't hear what you said, so.
That's good.
It's basically how I thought. But no, if you're wondering why Buzzo did that, EnVy were going to win that round, unless they had the biggest blunder of their entire weekend. So Buzzo instead just jumps off, doesn't feed them streaks, doesn't feed them any payload score. Smart play by him. But now Apathy's getting completely sorted at by 4 players of Mindfreak.
Apathy taken down at Slasher, trying to back him up.
Nice shots.
Incredible shots there. Tags up 1, finishes another. Gets his health back, and now he wants to push, but the collapse comes in for John, and now it's Fida. His turn for a 1v3. They just can't seem to get the advantage in a lot of these rounds. He's about to get pushed from every which way. Shut down there in blue, and that's another round to EnVy.
Slasher, the camo player for EnVy, going to earn it now by round 6. I mean, I would be confident in saying that Slasher has probably earned camo the fastest of any player on average in S&D this weekend. I don't know how you trace that stat, but by round 6 now, he's going to have it. Another thing to point out as well, averaging a 1.5 S&D KD so far this weekend. Currently, this game at 2.5.
Been stellar. All right, well, let's keep it going. Slasher already has camo available here. As we move into round 7, let's see how he plays around it. Maybe saving this for a later round. He's just going to go quickly for the plant. We're going to get this down. That'll be an early one, but it's going to be Fida finding the first kill pretty much just immediately after he gets that bomb planted.
Now Excite will go ahead and fall right back. 4v3, camo ready for Shocks now as well. Does tag up JCap. Beautiful shots with that K-bar.
Yeah, Shocks has been on point, man. Some of the kills he's got have been truly, truly insane. John, last man up. He gets dropped as well, and that's a clean sweep here for Mindfreak. You've got Shocks with the camo to work with, too, so him versus Slasher. We'll see who gets the better of that as he's going to the later rounds.
Here's a look at Fida and Excite from Mindfreak. Be sure to give them a follow on Twitter. Show some APAC love. I believe it's at Team. Is it Team Mindfreak Pro on Twitter?
Yes.
I know a lot of these. If you're new to seeing these guys, go show them some love. They're a good group.
All right. Well, they are going to be an offense now, Jack. Camo available for Shocks. He's 7-4, leading the way. Excite there right behind him, trying to look over his teammate. Excite pushes forward, and he's been so aggressive with that ERAD in hand. They just bully their way past EnVy. It's now going to be on John and Apathy in a 2v3. John, push. Look at them flying forward. Now Apathy, he's in a 1v2. If he gets a kill, he gets reactive here. So this is a very winnable situation.
You say that, but then you also remember Shock still does have that active camo. So
let's see what it comes down to.
Spotted by both.
All right, they know he has an ERAD in hand.
Actually, a great little tactical throw to know they're pushing him, so that should give him a little bit more knowledge than he would have had in a normal scenario.
Now, does he realize they pushed through? It doesn't seem to be the case. They've wrapped all the way actually back around. Apathy scared at the moment, but again, 1 kill. And he can make an absolutely insane play. You hope the first kill would be on Shocks. He's still going to get away with his life. They just keep tagging him up. He keeps running, tossing a nade, getting away with his life. They need to plant this bomb still. They're working on it now. Can he catch him as they move around the edge? He gets the kill there. He can pop it. He doesn't finish him. That's not the weak player, unfortunately.
And that's the rear guard of Shocks that saves him in that scenario.
Wow.
That's basically a round win. He would have killed the camo player and then had a 1v1 with reactive armor. Tries to challenge, not going to happen. Mindfreak win 2 straight rounds to tie it back.
As soon as he got that timing on the player from behind, like, this is done. He's killing him, popping reactive if needed, and you've got a 1v2 clutch for Apathy. Unfortunately, it ends up being Shocks with the fluid shots with the K-bar to end it.
The rear guard saves Shocks. That back plate can take a bullet or 1 melee.
Well, and you got to think, like, these players have played so much. Like, you're so used to, like, sort of subconsciously counting bullets in your bag. Like, you have that kill speed. You know, he thinks he has the kill. That little bit of a difference there ends up costing him.
Their fight, it did spot John moving towards middle map from that high wall run. So what do Mindfreak do off of that? It looks like they'll still just play the back of their base and react accordingly to where EnVy go. Camo right out from Slasher. First blood again for him. He's now 6-4.
Slasher has opened things up. He has now spotted a second in Grandma's, and I think about 30 saw in Barn as well. There's somebody coming through on the flank, though. I think that's going to be Excite.
They've given this up.
Excite might be able to make a play. He comes in. He's able to find 1. Can't get any more. 2 players left. Shock still has that camo, so they're in a 2v3. This is very clutchable if he can get the kill. Trophy at the edge.
Now cut down. 1v3, fighted by himself. He'll get cut down. 5-4 EnVy. As they're now 1 round away from going up 2-0 in our best of 5, Maven.
Well, I mean, if you don't get the first pick, what do you think here? Do you want Shocks to just go out and make an aggressive play with his camo, like we saw Slasher do?
If Shocks, here's the thing, if Shocks doesn't get challenged by a second player, there's a chance. The issue is, once you push out there, there's really no cover. It's such an easy trade, even if he uses camo.
Oh, sorry, I more meant this next round.
Oh, like, this next round.
You want him to get aggressive with it, try and find a kill like Slasher did early.
At this point, you absolutely should. If you plant this bomb, spot a player in back barn, then just camo at him, get the first blood for your team. You just got to make something happen. I'm more of a fan of getting to the round 11. Yeah. Don't just die with camo if your team's not going to make it.
Well, he saw him. He knows somebody's inside.
Right here, don't even challenge. Just live. You have camo. Just live.
Plays his life for now.
First blood.
They get the plant, but John does find the first kill. So now if you're Shocked, the camo has to be used here. It has to be. You're down a man. You've got to make a play.
EnVy are going to 4-man fly out at once. Shocks can still panic, use this camo to save time in the end. Trophy being used, that's the Centurion. Stopping that grenade, now it's Shocks by himself, 20 seconds left, and he can time this perfectly. Just gotta check a couple times. Reactive popped.
Oh, camo
being used, 2 payloads getting brought into this. Apathy's tagging him up, he's just trying to kill the bomb carrier! It's Apathy through the camo, gets the kill. EnVy up 2-0. Look at Apathy's face, he's smiling right now.
That is a rare sight. You know, you don't use camo so powerful in this game. You know, you don't get any.
Here it is again. Look, look.
Could barely see him at all. The nice hip fire there finishes the kill. How much time was on the clock if he was able to find the bomb?
It would have been a very similar scenario to yesterday's defuse from Apathy on throwback, where it was like right at 7.5. Either way, 3 payloads get used in the same second. Camo from Shocks, FTL jump from the side of EnVy, and then Apathy popping that reactive armor. EnVy are all smiles for good reason. They're up 2-0.
And, you know, remember, this is a matchup that had a very crazy uplink. Went down to the wire, 12-11 in OT. EnVy are able to take it. But we know Mindfreak can play them tight, at least when you're taking a look at Precinct uplink.
Yeah.
It's maybe a different case here, but again, Mindfreak continues to take everyone the distance here. That goes 10 rounds. You have the close hard point. You got to expect to have a close uplink as well.
It's a story of this team, man. If you go back and look at this weekend, rewatch the gameplay, I would love to see just how close Mindfreak were in every single game mode to some of these maps. And at times, you can almost say the same thing for Cloud9. Obviously not an uplink, but some of their S&Ds, a couple of their hard points at 250 to 247 we saw with EnVy. Some of these squads in the lower half of this group right now, have had games that were absolutely winnable that could put them above a different team.
Yeah, Mindfreak's missing some of the colossal blowouts that Cloud9 has taken, but
that is very true.
I agree with your sentiment through the first couple games, but let's take a look at the box score now from our Search and Destroy here, the Game 2 of our best of 5 between EnVy and Mindfreak. You see Apathy putting up a monster performance, 11-6. Shocks on the other side has a great game, has a camo in a position to maybe make a clutch, but it's the guy right above him that shuts him down.
Yeah, Apathy showing up big time. He was right there with Slasher on that map. Teams just trading rounds back and forth. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2 out of those 10. That should do it, though, for game number 2. Can Mindfreak stay alive in this best of 5 series? We'll have to see right after this quick break. It is time for another G Fuel key player matchup. This time, it is two aggressive players in John and Fida. We know what these guys are capable of in Hardpoint and Search and Destroy. We've seen it this series. But coming up is Uplink, and look at the advantage from John so far. A 1.20 Uplink KD, one of the highest on his squad. Fida, at times in this game mode, can struggle for Mindfreak, but look for him here to be a reason why MF can make this reverse sweep happen. This has been your G Fuel key player matchup. Let's get into game number 3.
All right, it is time for the Uplink. Mindfreak's chance to stay alive in this series. And really, I mean, if they can take this series, give themselves a chance at that second spot in the top 2 position to play for the $500,000 in the playoffs. I mean, it starts here. They need to win this series, man. They have to reverse sweep.
I'll be honest, I wasn't expected to come on camera right after that, so I was adjusting my zipper to make sure my fly wasn't open on camera, and that was just shown. So everyone at home, you just got to show
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm ready for game number 3.
That's amazing.
I'm used to hearing like, oh, we're coming to you. Whoa.
Surprise!
That's fine.
That's all right. That's all right. You know, you were adjusting. No problem there.
But let's talk about Uplink with these two teams, because the last time was close. Did go to overtime. If you remember, it was on Precinct, I believe, where there was a camo use from Slasher. Was that the one?
Yeah, so it was an overdrive, I believe, from Cap to get the dunk in to tie it up. And then Slasher had his camo to go into OT, and he got like a 19 second score, yeah.
So we know that these teams can be evenly matched in the game mode. There's a look at Fida's teammates from that key player matchup we brought to you between Fida and Shocks and Buzzo and Excite. These guys have been dominant in Search and Destroy at times this weekend.
I believe that is coming into this series.
Yes.
Because we literally just watched them lose us. Right?
I asked about to say, like, wow, they've been perfect. We just watched them hold an L. But in Uplink, the big thing to note, they have had their fair share of struggles at this point, only winning 1 of the 3 they've played.
And that's tough, too, to see the hard points, because, you know, you're looking at that 20%, 1 out of 5. That's similar to Dallas. If I remember correctly, it's actually, I think, identical to Dallas. They won 1 out of 5, 20% win rate and hard point. On the other side of it, if you're anything, EnVyUs are consistent.
Yeah, and this is different from the stats we saw from Dallas, right? You talked a lot about it, but they only had 1 of the 3 game modes above a 50% win rate here, every single one. In that 60% or higher window. Great to see from them.
Well, outside of Splice, they've been handling business, right? They've been winning the matches they should win. And there was a lot of question, you know, people talking before this weekend, you know, did Envy deserve to be in Pot A with, you know, the top 4 from North America coming in, or did Splice deserve to actually be in that spot? There was a lot of back and forth. Who is better, Splice, Envy? I mean, so far at least, I know they've only played once this weekend, but Splice looks incredible, man.
Oh, they most certainly do, and the big story has been them at a perfect 4-0 so far, but another story that is developing is that spot for the 3rd place spot. Let me give you a scenario. Mindfreak currently sitting at 1 and 2 in this group. They lose this series to Envy. They fall to now 1 and 3. Cloud9 obviously 0 and 4. They will match up again tomorrow. Now, I'm not sure of the sequence of when that will happen, but Cloud9's perfect road into making it into the top 3 is Mindfreak not only losing this series, but both their series tomorrow. Will that happen? We'll have to find out.
And I know that I'm going to sound like an insane person, but I don't think it's impossible. That has been the entire thing with Cloud9 this year. They are either horrendous or they look good to great at times. I know great's been a long time. We're talking back to Vegas, basically, but we know they have the potential. When you look at the team on paper, you know, you see the young studs of Lacefield and Assault. You see the veteran leadership on the other side of it with Ricky and Eggs. You feel like they'd be good. So don't be shocked if maybe there's a little bit of heart, a little bit of vigor left in this team when we enter day 3.
Here we go. What could be potentially the final map of the day in this red group day 2. Envy and Mindfreak. Envy on the verge of another sweep.
Well, let's kick things off with Apathy. Erad up close, finds 1, but Kills just going back and forth. Only 1 player left for each side. That was Buzzo and John trying to hold strong at mid-map while they wait for their team. John just saw him cross below, so he knows what's up. He knows he's crossing underneath, and he spots him. Heads up play from John. He saw just a glimmer of Buzzo and hunted him down there.
And he's going to stay alive with the help of a nade from his teammate. He's just going to keep some pressure in middle map, trying to force Mindfreak to have to get kills before they can move forward with this drone. And thankfully, Apathy has also made his way up into the Mindfreak base.
I was so focused on John, I didn't see how Excite actually got into the opposing team's window, but he is in a position to be very annoying, and that's why you say it. He's waiting in this corner, sneaky spot, shoots 1 in the back, and now he's in the base, spawning Envy out to the blue side, but he has an ERAD here, so it's going to be a little more difficult. He has to wait for them to come to him. He can't gun them with a K-bar range. He has to play smart. He did just that, found the kill he needed, and opened up the 1-pointer for Mindfreak. They strike first.
Beautiful stuff from them, and look, Mindfreak Fida does the right thing by falling on back, trying to stay alive inside top ticket, at least gets 1 before he's traded on out. It's little things like that, those small decisions that can make the difference between Envy getting full map control and really having to fight for every yard they take.
They keep fighting, but Shocks picks up 3 on the kill feed. Everybody dropped. 4 down for Envy. 1 player is spawned. That's going to be John back for defense with the 1-pointer up. By a hair, not able to hit the 1-pointer. That was a deep shot, just comes up a little bit short.
And if you're wondering why that wasn't an easy score for Mindfreak after getting 4 dead, it's because they had no one pushed up towards that bus side. I talked about it in my very extensive Telestrator session earlier on. Because there's no one there, Envy get 1 player that spawns up on that side. He's able to cut off the lead blocker, and Mindfreak have to try to settle for a 1. They botch the throw, and they're punished because of it.
Well, let's see what John can do with the drone. Trying to reload, reset the armor here before he gets pushed. He needs a bit of help. Teammates coming off a spawn now to give him a bit of assistance. Just controlling this top window. The first push is going to come in. It's Excite with the ERAD. He's been a nuisance with it, but the 1 bullet and the melee come through, and now is an opportunity for a pass forward and the dunk. Fancy plays here from EnVy as they get the dunk through.
So EnVy, John will get here in time to watch this. I'm surprised it took them so long to at least send players back. Apathy gets 2. Buzzo the last alive. He just needs to win 1v1 gunfight against Slasher. Not going to happen. Slasher catches him off guard.
Slasher, a slow start in the slaying department, but he's starting to pick it up. He's got 2 in a row for now. He wants to get gun up here, be able to challenge inside of Grandma's. They backed up a couple of players, Apathy and Shock. Shock's trading back a couple of kills, the 1-pointer away, and that's great. That's a feel-good score because your entire team died. You're the only one alive. It's your only option there is to put it through. He buries it.
And now these next wave of gunfights will decide on who gets to play aggressively with the drone. Basically all 4 players fighting for middle map from both sides. The big difference right now is Buzzo going on the flank. Will it pay off in the end? It looks like there's a chance. As he's now been thrown the drone, nobody's here from EnVy, and this was something that plagued EnVy yesterday at times, Maven.
Multiple times we've talked about teams counter-scoring against EnVy, you know, putting through a point, not being able to get back and challenge quickly enough at mid-map. They're a little bit different because those times in the past where it happened was when EnVy, you know, still had people up and didn't rotate to mid. There they actually lose everybody, so they're coming off a spawn.
Miscommunication.
It still happens, yeah.
They didn't recognize that they were looking for somebody, and Buzzo, hey, you know what? Changes things up, throws a little wild card out there, and it pays off in the end with a free dunk.
Well, let's see if the dunk gets them going a bit here. Can they take another lead? Shocks and Fida combining to cut down everybody from EnVy. You don't want to lose anybody to the last player here. You want to get map control, but John with a nade. And Cap finds 2, 1 being the team kill, though, on John, but they should have slowed down the pressure here so far. They've cleaned out their base.
And Slasher, ooh, nice trigger. So hold on to that one.
Buzzo's like...
Trigger discipline was the word I was looking for. Waits things on out. There's a second above him. Slasher. We talked about the slow slaying start he had. I believe it was 2 and 6, now 9 and 10.
Starting to come alive here, Jack. We've got 30 seconds remaining. Can anyone put something through here before we head to our second side? And this is a lot like what we saw from the first series in the sense that they went to an overtime, very tight game. Different scenario as Mindfreak had an early lead in that one, but as we go, it's Fida, Buzzo, finding kills. Dunk is going to go through, and that's an edge with 10 seconds remaining in the first round.
Where's he going? Go towards the drone. They could have just had another score. They could have just had another score.
You have time?
Fida went to watch their underpass, and instead didn't go for the... So right there, that should have been another dunk.
Oh, yeah.
They had full control of the base. But Fida went to watch underpass instead of his teammate coming to help him to throw the drone over that building. Mindfreak, great job in coming back in the score right there, but I've got to call you out. That right there was a misplay.
It's one of those times where everybody thinks they have a lane picked up, right? Yep. You're looking to find the kills off spawn. Does EnVy rat back? Do they overextend? Who's got the pull, the pass? Unfortunately there, nobody goes back to get the drone to make the play.
So here's the thing. In a normal scenario, you have to be worried about EnVy countering and getting a dunk of their own if you die middle map. But with that little time, just grab the drone, go for the throw. There's no way EnVy can score. But let's move on from that, Jack. That's not the whole game. Mindfreak outside of that are shredding like they are right now, 4 dead on EnVy.
And now they move forward. Shocks has drone in hand. Fida moving forward, trying to find the entry kills. The first one, though, is actually going to come from the blue side. That's Cap with 2, playing some stellar defense, and they have drone in hand. They're able to get it out for the time being. Actually, no, they haven't got it out for the time being. Nope. The 1-pointer will go through. They tossed it out to the side of barn, but he was still able to get it.
It's not that. It was that they thought they were safe, but Buzzo was flanking again, and this is something that Puckett watched a lot of Mindfreak VOD prior to this weekend. He just loved seeing exactly how they played it. It's because Buzzo was in such a unique spot at all times.
Well, EnVy had the drone at one point. Didn't they toss it to that backside barn? That's where Buzzo came from Silo?
They grabbed it, but they just never got rid of it. They thought they were fully safe. Instead of resetting it and running back to middle map, they tried to grab the drone and go like they were going to run towards barn.
Yeah. They just tossed it over towards Silo. Buzzo there and waiting. John tagged up and dropped. Shocks and Fida continue to be a nightmare.
This will be a dunk.
But Apathy gets 3.
Now let's watch these spawns. Will anybody spawn towards bus?
All blue.
Doesn't appear so as of yet. No, all will spawn blue. They've got to get this drone and throw it on over. Will they get it in time? There's Apathy. Slasher should be there. He's got to win a one-on-one, though.
He's got it. He tries to toss it away. Clutch play from FyDa. That's a big kill, too. When you have a one-point game, that's a guaranteed one if you don't find it, but they're able to do it. They keep the edge here. Just over 3 minutes to go in the second half. FyDa and Buzzo finding a couple more. They're slaying with EnVy right now. And Excite in the front with the K-Bar. He put away, it looks like the submachine gun for now. He wants to go with a bit of a ranged weapon. And there's another point tacked on for Mindfreak.
Nice play by Excite to just go for that one. Shox needs to stay alive in top food right now. He will charge right out. Oh, he's already been spotted. Could have played this much more passively. Instead, getting caught sprinting. That was a little bit sloppy from Shox. EnVy now looking to push right on up the map. They need bus control. There is one player here, which is Buzzo. Now dead. The drone already moved forward. Can they get the reset in time? It does appear so. Nice play by Mindfreak to get it out of their base.
So they get it out. Don't allow any damage to be done from EnVy, but still drone to JCap. He's tossing it right back in. John's still in a position to make a play. He almost lines a couple up there. They're both tagged, but JCap can only get one before dropping. And now EnVy cleared out of Mindfreak's base for the time being, and they find a kill mid-map. So this is Mindfreak's opportunity to get forward. Buzzo finds two big ones. Shox going to be pushing towards Lime here. He's got one in front. Might get caught reloading. Uses the fence and almost able to gun cap. The cap goes huge.
FyDa just trying to stay alive right now. He does have a teammate pushed up. That's Excite, who is just going off inside number 2. Yes, he's 12 and 19, but he was basically a non-factor in the first half of this game. It's FyDa, though, doing everything. One kill off his reactive, near double positive, on a 4 streak currently, has another Scarab to work with. EnVy chained together 3. They know the final player is nowhere near, but one player does spawn up on the base. It will be enough to stop Slasher. John with the follow-up goes for the 1. Could have had the dunk, but panicked there for a moment and threw it on through.
Well, still trailing by 1, but bringing it closer here. Let's switch over to Cap. Cap with the great play with Overdrive the first time these guys played on Precinct. He's got it available. Can he come up clutch again? Time winding down, under 90 seconds. On the other side, you've got Buzzo with Overdrive. Who's going to make the play for their
camo?
team?
I think Shox has camo. Does he go ahead and use it here to get a potential dagger of a score? Nope. Pops it right away, running right through. Is it happening for the camo kill again? No, JCap this time. One of the most important payloads is burned, and there's no score to show for it. We're in the final minute now. Maven, can Mindfreak hold on?
Unbelievable stuff from EnVy to continue to shut down these camo players. But they still need to get a point on the board. Remember, JCap with Overdrive. Slasher, he only has 16 kills. He's not going to get a camo here. So it's all going to be on Cap, but they're pinned in their base. Mindfreak set up in a good position, making sure they can't push, but now might be your time. They find a couple of kills.
Slasher could get a camo, absolutely.
In the next 40 seconds, he would have to go huge.
It's a kill right. He's basically 2 or 3 kills off, and it could potentially happen.
Let's see if he can find the kills.
Not when stuff like that goes down. EnVy still have Overdrive. Apathy about to earn reactive. He's also cut down. These kills are so important for Mindfreak.
It's just Cap. I mean, he's found 2, but he's really the only man up. He can't die because this Overdrive is going to be the way that you score.
Do they go for a field push? Cap knows there's someone right near him. He has exposed himself. He has been spotted. Nearly turns to the player. Drone being pushed up by John. He's going to help his teammate there. It's been reset. That's it. We're going to a game 4. Mindfreak get it done and stay alive.
Mindfreak now have been able to take a map off Splice. 2 maps off EnVy, but is this the beginning? Is this the swing? You see the energy there? The guys are on their feet. They're feeling good. Is this the beginning of the reverse sweep that they could desperately use?
Ooh, you saw FyDa there too, telling his teammates, boys, let's just get to that game 5. They know search and destroy is their strong point. That's what they need to push for. Do not sleep on Mindfreak. A reverse sweep is absolutely possible.
And it's not just, you know, Australian fans rooting for Mindfreak right now. You got to think every Cloud9 fan is also rooting for Mindfreak to pull off the upset. Or sorry, no, that's Mindfreak to lose. I said that completely backwards.
No, actually,
they're rooting for them to drop this series so they have a chance to actually come to get that 3rd spot.
There you go. Oh, it's okay. Sometimes you get confused. It's a part of aging. I've actually been learning about that in my study of human aging class.
Sometimes the comments come into my head and they make sense, and then as they start to come out of my mouth, they come out backwards.
It's not connected.
Yeah.
It's fine. It made sense in some universe. But no, Mindfreak do hang on by 1 point. If FyDa doesn't put up, what, 35 kills in that game, is that a Mindfreak win? I don't know.
Yeah, it was him really doing the damage because the camo from Shox didn't provide any points. Again, a stellar defense there coming in from EnVy, but they do just enough. You had Excite have a really rough game. You saw him go from what, ERAD to K-Bar to ERAD to K-Bar, jumping back and forth, couldn't get anything going, double negative for most of the game. Yep. But they do just enough to steal the victory. And that, God, what you have 2 points separating the teams in both the uplinks, basically total.
And does JCap even get to use overdrive at all?
No, because his 3 teammates died. Remember, he gets stuck outside there by Lemon. He kills 2 players, but he has to fight the next 2 before his teammates really get there to help him. He was never in a really good spot to even use it.
I think EnVy are pretty surprised to be going to a Game 4 themselves. Apathy joking around prior to the series, now looking a little bit more serious after that Game 3. They know Mindfreak are a real threat. If you're just tuning in, we hope you're enjoying the coverage of the CWL Global Pro League Red Group here in Stage 1. We've got more Call of Duty here in the arena next weekend, the weekend after that, the weekend after that. Then we take a week break?
Yep.
Then another, the stage finals. After that one, 4 of the next 5 weekends filled with Call of Duty action.
Well, and for this particular series, Jack, you now have another chance at revenge, right? As far as the hardpoint goes. You haven't been able to take one. You've won 1 total hardpoint this weekend. You've had some really close battles here with EnVy. Is this the one where it finally clicks? You get everything going. You close out a game after having an early lead. It's got to be so frustrating to be in that position.
It very well could happen. You mentioned that lead that they did have in the hardpoint. Can they actually hold on to it this time around? If you're wondering what you see in the players' hands between maps at times, that little kind of pack that they have, it's actually hand warmers. Players trying to keep their hands warm in
sometimes, yeah.
chilly venue.
Well, you keep venues chilly for a couple of reasons. Maybe if you're wondering at home, if you've been to a venue, why it's cold. One, you keep it chillier just because there ends up being a lot of people. It can get really hot when you have a a lot of people packed into the venue. But the other big reason is a lot of the machinery. You can't actually have it get really hot in here. All the stuff running the broadcast, all the servers, everything they have that they work with. I don't think I could name 10 machines in that room.
You couldn't.
But if they get really warm and overheat, the broadcast shuts off and the stream is no longer live and you don't get to watch the Call of Duty action. So you got to keep it a little chilly. I might have just made up everything I just said.
No, that was right.
Yes!
That definitely was right. This time around, it was much better.
Than what I tried to say about Cloud9, Rudy.
Yeah,
that was dumb.
That made me chuckle because that is the farthest thing. Cloud9 fans are hoping right now that Mindfreak gets stopped.
That's what I was going for, buddy.
Okay, that's fine. You didn't get there, though. Folks at home, folks in the chat, give me your predictions. Send them out. Use the hashtag CWL Pro League. Get involved in that MLG chat. Read those EVE stats. Answer some score streak questions. Here we go. Based in ravaged Geneva, Retaliation, a map filled with a wonderful hotel, a beautiful bike shop, and some great restaurants on a sunny street. Might be your next vacation spot. I don't know where I was going with that. Yeah. And then it shows a picture of a cemetery.
That was commercial. Yeah. This is where you go to die.
Yes, there we go. And here's your hotel.
Oh, yeah.
That's our room right there, actually. I'm pretty sure that's where we're staying right now.
Hit by a tsunami. But actually, I've said this multiple times, but this map, just aesthetically, is it's like one of my favorite maps all the time in Call of Duty. I love it. Just the look of it, absolutely beautiful map. But here we go. Can Mindfreak, the one team from APAC here in the CWL Global Pro League, fight back and take control of this series? We're with Fida off the break.
We talked about how EnVy on this map used 2 NV4s, 2 K-bars, and Splice, who brought out 4 K-bars, brought the pace up, and EnVy did not have an answer. Do we see a 4K bar setup from the side of Mindfreak? As of right now, that's a no.
And we'll get those logos for the overlay added for you guys in just a moment here. Watching on with Cap, he's got the NV4 in hand. And this is interesting. So I talked to John, I think it was yesterday afternoon, about what was going wrong. I was like, why are you running an NV4, Cap having the K-bar in hand? It seems like, just historically speaking, what you guys are strong at, you'd want to swap that around. So I saw JCap pull out the NV4. I'm curious to see if John has swapped as well. But this is a map that EnVy hasn't been stellar on.
No, not at all. And I don't feel confident in them here either. Yeah. Look at the score right now, 33-3.
But they did swap. So you have John with K-bar now, and Cap had the NV4.
Excite at 5-2, and I heard Buzzo immediately as he just gunned down John right there. Get hyped in the main stage. That's the energy you want to see from Mindfreak.
Well, that's what's going to be interesting here. You try to make a change because something wasn't working, but typically when you make a change, so actually, all right, so Cap's back to he was just using the NV4 for that first hard point. Looks like they're going to go 3 K-bar now. So their favorite guns, and the last time they played Retaliation, they actually went with the 2-2 split. It was Slasher and John with an NV4 throughout the game, JCap and Apathy running the K-bars. They want to play a little bit faster. I think the loss to Splice you know, shook them a bit. They need to pick up the tempo. Now they got a third K-bar in the mix.
And that's an example of what's awesome about this double round robin this weekend, Maven, is you can make those adjustments on the fly. As the weekend goes on, as you play the team for a second time, you can decide, you know what, hey, this map didn't work out here, or you know what, we tried this strat twice, it didn't work, let's change things up to this. EnVy try to make some adjustments. Right now, not really working out. And a lot of that at Maven just comes out of they're not getting kills.
Well, a big part of it, I mean, John is the one that is switching, you know, from the MV4 over to the K-bar, and he started out 1-7. So, unfortunately, his argument to maybe use that gun might not have started off the best, but it's a long game, right? You still have time to fight back. Cap, though, dealing with Mini and Market. He finds one, but Buzzo does pick up the kill there. Excite falls as well, and so far it's been EnVy able to hold on, but now the break's going to come.
Buzzo is snapping right now, 8-2, 4.0 KD, a 4 streak as well to back that up. Does he use the Scarab? It doesn't appear so. They've got a teammate too watching their cross from the street in towards Brave. With 30 seconds left, EnVy looking to charge right on through.
Well, you had Fida on a 4 streak, Buzzo on a streak as well. Both of them end up dropping, so EnVy will retain control. You don't get another crack at this with 20 seconds. So they're going to get the final 20. Apathy, the only one really in the position to push from the bottom side. Looks like they're going to rely on John at the top of the map to try and make a play here. If he can get a kill, spawn one out, give them maybe a 4-3 edge, but you can see they're spawning at the bottom dock, and that's not a that's not a challenge you can take right there.
No, he's got to wait too. Right now, he's only got one player pushing through middle. He should get shot right in the back by Excite here momentarily.
Well, he's got help at the bottom, I think, from Cap.
Yeah, there's just no real follow-up to that challenge right there on the Buzzo.
Yeah, I think Cap had to win his gunfight on Bridge to give them a chance. Both actually end up dropping, so now they're waiting for the next wave. A pick through for Apathy. Where's the spawn come in? Well, they were close enough to spawn them out, so see on the minimap, Fida spawns the entire way across. This is where you have to go. You're in a 3v3 currently. Can you find the kills? JCap gets a second. EnVy trying to flood forward. You have 2 players left to remain. It's actually Buzzo now by himself inside. Can Buzzo do something miraculous? So far, he's holding on. He's somehow done it, but John still here, and John goes big to pick up the final 15.
Our COD champs MVP from 2016, slowly turning things back up, was 1-7, now 8-10. Earns himself the Scarab as well. EnVy going towards the final hill of this first rotation, down by 50+ seconds in this game. And the story is the exact same, Maven, as game number 1.
It's a hell of a lot like game 1. Mindfreak, can you hold on? EnVy, a team that, you know, I think they improve as the year goes on. That's true with Black Ops 3. I think they're improving as the games go on over the course of this weekend. They seem to get better and better as the hard point gets closer and closer to that final scoreline. But it's Apathy, prone, sneaky, inside, trying to keep eyes on Hotel Hallway. It's John finding all the kills. Cap there as well as Apathy tries to gun one outside wisely. Reloading before he goes for the push. Surprise! Flies outside a hotel and picks up the final kill.
What a challenge by Apathy there to at least stop the pressure for the moment. Mindfreak still spawning out, which was a 50+ second lead, now down to just 15. JCap gonna use this little concierge desk as cover.
He likes that desk.
He does. That's why he keeps trying to hug it.
Exactly, that's all that is. So now Mindfreak 121 to 117. EnVy just about to take the lead. I feel like every time in these hard points, Jack, that we talk about Mindfreak's lead, it disappears almost like during that exact hard point we talk about it during.
We need to stop jinxing it.
Yeah, right?
That's what we need to do.
Okay, well, EnVy, it's a tie game, but we're on now with Buzzo. He's got the NV4 in hand. He's got a Scarab to work with. He is trying to figure out which route he wants to take.
And what was kind of ironic about game 1 was, if you remember, we talked about how, you know, Shox was having a quieter game, and Fida and Excite were there to pick up that scoreboard. Right now, it's Shox again, and Excite slow in this game, but then you have Fida with a minute in the hard point already. Yes, he's -1, but he's getting the objective done. Buzzo had an uncharacteristic for him, 14-9 in this game with almost a minute in the objective. They're the reason why this game is close, but like we saw back in game 1, Maven, those performances didn't keep up as it went on, and EnVy slowly but surely swung the tide in their favor.
Yeah, this has been a very different kind of performance from EnVy versus the last time we watched them play Retaliation, because that was the one, remember, I believe Slasher got fully streaked out. We thought they'd be able to take the game if they got to the final bridge. Slasher was going off. I think he went something like 28 and 18. Right now, Slasher only has 8 kills. He's lagging behind a bit. I wonder if the change from John may be affecting that. But on the other side of it, you've got Cap and Apathy really putting on strong performances. And Cap, he's actually had several games like this throughout the course of the weekend where he kind of lights up the scoreboard.
And this is now where EnVy can really begin to put in some damage. But as I said, that John actually kills his teammate. with a grenade. Mindfreak will push on in. And just like that, they're about to retake the lead.
All right, well, they're back in the lead now. We've had a ton of lead changes just over the final hard point and a half. Shocks, a little over halfway to that camo. Excited about to pick up his FTL jump with another kill here on steps, and there it is. He's got that to work with and one player to deal with on plat as well. But with 10 seconds left, it's all about the rotation up top. So Shocks is by himself here, Jack. He's got several players to deal with. Does this sneaky play end up paying off? Yes, it does. He finds the first. I think he may have saw both over the back. Oh, those were laser beams across, but just not enough to finish the kill as Apathy pushes forward for 2.
And look, Mindfreak will get a really awkward spawn near that back scaffolding area, and someone from EnVy, that's actually John, spawn lower street. Thankfully, they do cut him down, but there's actually a team kill involved in there as well.
Yeah, I don't think they were ready for John to be right in front of them as they pushed out.
No.
But you've got a couple players in market now. They don't have a lot watching over steps, though. Sorry, watching over bridge. It's going to be on Slasher to deal with the pressure coming forward as the rest of his team rotates over from market. But it's Slasher doing a great job inside. One kill on the right, another on the left as he's closing down Graveyard. He has a player in behind. That's going to be Excite pushing from the back. Excite, get out of my hard point. Slasher keeps it going. He's by himself waiting for help to come. He's bought enough time that Apathy is here. He's shooting through his teammate to try and find the kills, and somehow he is still going.
Does he have permanent reactive armor?
I have no idea.
Right there. Slasher single-handedly lives for 30 seconds and will help EnVy break the 200-second mark. Now across the map, you've got John here alongside Apathy fighting for broken control.
And it's individual plays like that that can be all the difference in the game, because by doing that by yourself, it opens the map up for your teammates to get set up here. Yeah. This could be a huge swing in the game if John and squad are able to hold, but the swarm is coming in. It's Shocks and Fida starting to open things up. Slasher's going to need to get involved in the action quickly. But it's just, well, his teammates actually, they've already been cut down.
Look at how close he is to streaks. He's just trying to stay alive. He's one shot right now. He's coming to help his teammate. EnVy's got multiple players here. There's the Trinity, potentially a bombardment here. In the next few moments, EnVy can get so close to winning off this hill. They've already dominated the first hotel hardpoint. There's a challenge coming in. It's only going to be one. John's there for the 2-piece. Slasher now back in the hardpoint. EnVy looking to make the difference here.
7 streak for Slasher. We talked about his slow game and how good he was in the last one. He's able to turn and snap before dropping, but he gets fully streaked out. So this is huge, because with this close of a game, if Mindfreak brings it back, you go to bridge, you've got a lot of streaks to work with here, but they may be able to end it in hotel hallway unless Mindfreak can hold strong.
Exactly. Mindfreak cannot win off this hard point, so they've got to know Slasher has some tools to work with after that impressive streak he went on. He was 8-15, ended that one 15-15. Now EnVy get 3. Fighter's by himself. They know where he is as well. EnVy looking to shut the door here to end day 2.
Yeah, they may be able to win it here. One more cycle of kills and it should be done. Excite, maybe FTL is over the top, tries to get through. No, he just sort of crouches in the midst and drops. 6 points away is EnVy. Buzzo trying to hold strong here, putting shots out to plat. His teammates soaring in front, but you see the reactive armor used. Was that the FTL actually went through? I think Excite actually got behind a couple.
Yeah, but that's going to do it. EnVy will take the map in the series, 250-203. A darn good day for the boys in blue.
And I'm pretty sure, so what, the first series they played, it was a 250-190 win in hardpoint, and then a 250-220 win. So it's nearly identical to the first time they played as far as the hardpoint results go. You know, props to EnVy on the win, but we can't talk enough about how Mindfreak just seems to be like a half step behind. If they can just improve a little bit with this roster, man.
Hardpoint is still the bane of their existence. Yeah. Even with how much they've looked better in the game mode here this weekend compared to what we've seen in the past, it is still their weakest.
And even when we talk about the past, yeah, when you look at the end result, the percentage is always low as far as winning, but the games have been close. It's not like this is a team that gets blown out by North American rosters 250-50. You know, they're playing very, very tough. It's averaging 250-200 in that ballpark. It's just, what is it, man? Is it just, is it a clutch factor? Is it purely experience?
There's a few things. One of them is Slasher living it for basically a 1v4 and lives the whole time inside Grave. Enough time for John to come help him inside that hard point. That's an example of one. You also think of that first Hotel Hill rotation where EnVy get like 40 seconds on it strictly because they not only clear out that middle area, but then they have Apathy laying in that cheeky spot right on that top plat where basically he just has like his one hand in the hard point and he's getting time for his team. Envy, they look much better than that first series they had yesterday against Splice. Since then, they've been basically lights out.
Yeah, they've really been on a tear, so that matchup tomorrow with Splice is going to prove to be a big one. And I think it's going to be a much better match because, yes, Splice has looked incredible, but Envy has looked, I feel like, a much different team. But I can't tell if that's Envy improving or if it's Splice was like that much better that they've made Envy look bad.
Oh, absolutely. And again, that is it for the action on day 2. Thoughts from you before we send it over to our analysts? I want to hear your perspective on things up to this point.
Nothing's really changed from day 1. And when you talk about your overall, what you think about it, Splice still at the top. Cloud9 hasn't won a map. Mindfreak can hang with the best. Envy look to be turning it on. That's exactly how I felt leaving day 1.
I truly cannot believe we end day 2 with Cloud9 at an 0-12 map record.
Well, you're familiar with. Never mind.
Okay, you had to bring it up. You just had to bring it up, Maven.
Yes, I did. But guys, before we wrap the night, we've got more to come, but we will be back after this quick break.